So you're in a group conversation, you try to say something, and it's like you're invisible. Everyone just keeps talking over you, and the conversation moves on as if you never opened your mouth. It's super frustrating. I used to think this happened because I wasn't saying anything clever enough. Like maybe if I just had the perfect joke or the most interesting story, people would finally pay attention. But then I discovered something that completely changed how I approach group conversations. Here's the thing. Group conversations are totally different from one-on-one conversations, and the secret to being heard isn't actually about what you say. It's about what you do when you're not talking. Let me explain. In a group of 3 people, you should be listening 2/3 of the time and talking 1/3. In a group of 5, you're only talking 1/5 of the time. So why is this? Because that creates a balanced conversation, right? But that also means that most of the time is spent listening. And this is where most people mess up. One day I was in this group conversation and I noticed something fascinating. There were these people who everyone seemed to love talking to, even though they barely said a thing. So I started watching them, and here's what they were doing. They were listening super actively. They were making eye contact, they were nodding, they were making little sounds, and they were raising the eyebrows when something was surprising and smiling when something was funny. Their whole face was engaged in the conversation, and meanwhile their eye was staring off into space with this like blank expression. For words, I'd be frowning because I was concentrating on what to say next. So when the speaker would glance around the room for feedback, they see all this positive energy from active listeners and nothing from me, just a blank stare or frown. So I decided to try something. I started copying what those socially 7 people were doing. I started nodding more and making those little affirmative sounds and reacting with my face to what people were saying. And after a while, something interesting happened. People started directing their stories specifically toward me. It was like the conversation was happening between me and the speaker, even though I wasn't saying a word. And when I finally did speak up, everyone actually listened because in their minds, I was already this core part of the conversation. So at first, I felt weird about this. Like I had the impostor syndrome or something. Part of me was worried that the speaker would stop and be like, hey, I wasn't talking to you. But think about it. Talking in a group is high stakes for most people. What if people lose interest? When you're telling a story to multiple people, you're looking for any sign that people are interested. So when you give that positive feedback, even just with your face and body language, you're actually giving them something really valuable. The cool thing is, this completely changes the dynamic. Instead of desperately trying to wedge yourself into the conversation, people naturally include you because you're making them feel heard and appreciated. And then when you do have something to say, they're already primed to listen to you. Now, if you've been the quiet one in groups for a while, this might take a few weeks to really kick in. People have already mentally categorized you as the passive listener, so it takes some time for them to subconsciously redefine you as someone who's actively engaged and rewarding to talk to, but stick with it. So the next time you're in a group, instead of planning what brilliant thing you're going to say next, focus on being the best listener in that circle. So make eye contact and nod and react and make those little sounds that show that you're following along. It's not about overdoing it. It's more like listening to a friend that you are one-on-one with, that you're really engaged in what they're saying. That's what you want to do in groups too. And watch how the whole dynamic shifts. Because here's the truth. In group conversations, the person who listens the best often becomes the person everyone wants to hear from. If you're serious about improving your people skills and are tired of generic advice like just be yourself that sounds good but makes things more confusing, join our training on the link below where I go much deeper into what I've talked about today here.